Okay, today's video we're going to talk about visitor insight software software basically essentially that tells you the identity, name, address, or company name of the visitor that comes to your website before they officially reveal it to you about themselves by filling out a contact form or calling you. If they don't fill out a form on your site or don't call you or don't do anything else like that on your site, these softwares, Lead Forensics, Visitor Queue, Lead Info, Zoom Info, claim to tell you this information about the viewer. So hypothetically, you could reach out to them and say, hey, I know you're on my site, so you want to buy my shit already here? Or, naturally you call them up, and of all the people that you're calling, you call the people that were on your site first, because statistically, right, that should actually be more productive than just calling any random person out there to try to sling your product or services. What I'm telling you here, though, that this is mostly snake oil. It's mainly bunk, what they're offering. You probably were, even researching this in the first place, because naturally most people aren't going to think about this or even knew it was possible, which it basically isn't, which I'll get into why, and why it's kind of basically snake oil. But yet a salesperson reach out to you and say, hey, we noticed, so to say, the pitch generally goes, hey, we noticed that such and such people were on your website recently, or, the people that have been to your website, we could tell you who they are, so you can approach them directly to sell your product or service. If Apple comes to your website, you want to know that so you can sell to them, right? That's the sales pitch, but it's bullshit for the most part. It doesn't do what they claim it to do. And even if you did get that information, what the hell are you going to do with it? Which is something that people don't necessarily ask themselves before they even, it's just the idea, oh wow, I can know who went to my website, of course that's going to help me make more sales. But will it? Not really. So I'm going to go into all the details on each one of those points I just covered there, explain to you why you basically don't want this software, and the pitch that they're giving you isn't all that great. One of basically the downsides that they don't tell you about it. So it doesn't matter if ultimately you're using Lead Forensics, Visitor Queue, Lead Info, Zoom Info to do this, to find out who it is that's coming to your site, so you can sell something to them or sell them and make ultimately trying to shoot fish in a barrel. All of them are going to basically be just as bad because they all fundamentally try to use the same system to identify the information of who's visiting your site for you. So anyway, with that said, getting into the meat of the content here, I've tried these softwares myself, so I'm not just talking out my ass here, pulling this information out my ass. I've literally used the software, even though I knew it was should probably work anyway, but I went ahead and gave it a shot anyway. I tried Lead Forensics, not to pick on them specifically, but they all fundamentally, after researching these, they all use the same system to identify the user. So even though I haven't tested every single one of them, and if you're from one of these other companies and I'm wrong, leave me a comment below, but I don't think you have any sophisticated means to do this for the user. Technically, it can be done by anybody for free if they wanted to, but even if you could get the information for free, if these softwares were free, it still wouldn't be worth it. Which I'm going to explain why. So I've tried this out, and the data that they provide through the technology that they're using, to start with, the first thing that makes it shitty or not worth your money or time, mainly it's a waste of time more than anything. Even though Lead Forensics tries to get you on the hook for a 1-year contract right away, which should show you, by the way, that it is bullshit, because mostly for software, some like service companies, agencies that do your marketing, they have to do 1-year contract because work is front loaded. But if a software company is saying you have to sign up for a 1-year contract or nothing, and they don't have a trial period, huge red flag as to how much bullshit that software is. Because by the time you figure out it's bullshit, they got you locked in, baby. And that's what Lead Forensics is doing. I don't know about these others for sure, but that right there in and itself should be enough reason alone to know that it's not worth what they're charging. They want to lock you in, take the money that they get from you for that first year, use it to find another dummy basically to sell it to, and then repeat the process. So it doesn't even have to make money in order to scale their company with that model. So but the data is sketchy. And second big thing here, or the second big thing here to consider, if you really are still considering these softwares, is what are you actually going to do with the information that these softwares provide? It's not like knowing, even if they could provide it, John Smith was on my website, that's going to help you sell to John Smith. You can already run ads to John Smith if they've been on your website already. So you already can follow up to John Smith with all the reasons why your product or service is the better one to buy in your market, and that it actually gets results, showing testimonials, showing reviews, showing a group of people that are in a Facebook group that all use your product and all are getting great results that you can go talk to, which really will cement in how good your product or service is. Doing, product tests side by side with your competitors' products and so on and so forth, which basically, by the way, most people don't do, and which you should do first, because this is what is going to make any of the traffic you drive to your site now, that you're paying big money to get to your site, will help get more out of it. Because seeing the 10 different things and 10 different banner ads that can show up for the person after they leave the site as to why you can be trusted, why they should buy from you, who else buys from you, on and on and on, and all answers all the main questions that people have in their minds when they talk to a salesperson at your company, and puts it into a series of ads that rotate out for the user for the next 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks or months afterwards. You should start on that first before you even think about going ahead and doing this anyway, because it's going to work better anyway, and that in itself you should be doing anyway. I do it on every single campaign that I ever put together for clients. I do it for my own firm. If you want to see how and why and how that's done, go to my site at guaranteeppc.com and watch the ads that show up for you after. I have 20 plus different ads show up for you after you've been to my site with different reasons why my agency is the best. Everybody else that does this so-called retargeting or remarketing, as it's also called, will just try to beat you over the damn head with the same message over and over and over again. Do you want to buy? No? How about now? How about now? How about now? How about now? And they just expect people to just roll over and buy because you're pestering them so much. But from a salesperson's perspective, people that sell shit to people in person know how much of a dumb idea that is. But there are people who are inherently lazy. They want good results with ads without putting much effort in, and that, for the most part, unless you're selling something really hot, that's not going to even be worth what you're paying to run the ads in the first place. But if you do it the other way, like I was saying, actually figure out what people need and want to hear to buy, and then you put that into ads, which then you can send them to a landing page that goes into whatever said on the ad in detail. So in other words, if you're saying you got a reward for the product that you're selling, and you can send them to a page talking about how you got the award, why you got the award, or you're doing a product stress test showing that it's the most durable product in the market, and they click on that ad and then go to a landing page showing how you did the stress test and how it held up, that kind of thing. Ultimately, you can see how you would get great results with that, because this actually helps the user make a decision and helps them ultimately see why they should buy from you. Versus if you knew somebody was on your site and you go to contact them itself, so the main problem is you're not going to get through to the main person that you need to talk to explain all this stuff. And if the person hasn't been to your site, you're talking to somebody else at at that company or at the household that has the computer or whatnot, then it's not going to be relevant enough to matter. So anyway, with that said, if you know who you're talking to, that's not going to necessarily help you. You can't use it for anything, basically. Now all these software use the reverse IP lookup, which is where they look at the IP address of the user, which you can see the IP address of everybody that visits your website, and then there's databases out there where you can do a reverse IP lookup, which tells you the address of the person at that IP address. And it doesn't work for cell phones because there's no address for a cell phone. So it works for like businesses that have an office or home users itself. So, and with the reverse IP lookup, first of all, there's a lot of people that are in the reverse IP lookup database that the IP address that you pick up from the visitor that hits your site can be resolved to an address. So, and even if you do have that person that goes to your site on this database, they're going to only provide you the macro level data, either the business itself, what their name is, or the owner of the internet connection, which that's not specific enough to actually help you do anything with the information. Even though, like I said, even if you knew the exact person, it would be hard to use it. Once you already know that you just know of certain businesses, of somebody out of business visited your site, it's even less valuable. So for business to consumer sales, where you're not selling to businesses, this basically is a total waste of money because there's usually 3 or 4 or 5 people at a house that's using this home internet connection and having their address. So, I mean, legitimately, what are you going to do? Send that person a postcard? Well, who do you send it to at the house? You don't know actually who the person was on the website. If you send it to the wrong person, total waste of money. And so, the waste that you're going to have sending your postcard to the wrong person and then that guaranteeing you can't get a return because it's the wrong person is going to add so much inefficiency to your system. There isn't much benefit left with it, so to say, if you will. And then on top of that, obviously, even if you do send it to the person and they get a postcard, well, they already know about you. They were on your website already. So you could say why else you're good, which goes into the remarketing strategy I told you before to use. But effectively, or like I said, you can already get that in front of that user with the banner ad online, and it doesn't cost you 50 cents to get the postcard to them. It costs a penny to have a remarketing banner ad show up for them, even though the fact that they got it in the mail makes it a little bit more valuable. You got their attention at a higher level at that point. But for the most part, it's not even giving you any extended capability, so to say, even though technically you can make a case for if somebody's on my site, I want to remarket to them in different places, which is called omni-channel marketing. I want to make sure I can show up on LinkedIn and Facebook for that person, and in the mail with the postcard, and I also want to be able to call them or whatnot. So, but you don't know who actually it is that's on your site, so it's hard to communicate with them per se. And even if you do get in front of them, what are you going to say? And then, even if you know what to say, there's cheaper ways to do that remarketing that follow up with that person, which you're not doing right now, i.e. remarketing the way that I said before. So it's pretty much a waste for business to consumer type contacts that go to your site that you're trying to sell to. Now, if you're trying to sell to businesses now, if you were doing cold calling up a bunch of businesses of a certain type or certain niche to try to get them to buy your product or service, the idea that the way that these companies pitch this is, oh, if you're cold calling 200 people a day, why don't you just cold call the people that have been to your site? Makes sense on paper or at surface level, but when you start thinking about it the proper way, you don't actually know who it is at that company who visited your site. All it tells you is somebody at that company visited the site. And with 50 employees working at this place, you're taking a 1 in 50 shot that ultimately who it is that you picks up the phone at the company is the person who was on the site. And what are you going to do? Somebody who was on my site today I want to know who it is. They're not going to fucking know, nor are they going to care. So you're not going to get in front of the person that was actually on your site to actually make use of that information or data. Unless you're talking about a single employee business, which at that point in time, obviously, if it was one guy, if it was like a money manager guy who it's just him and that's it, and he has an office, and you know that somebody from that company, so to say, was on the site, now you do actually have some usefulness. You could actually know exactly who was on your site, and then if you call, you could get in front of that exact person. And then you might be able to pull off, hey, I know you're on the site, don't ask me how, but I know I'd like to tell you a few things, other things about our service that makes it better than the competition. You may be able to make something from them. But again, you could do that same exact thing with banner ad advertising and get the same thing accomplished, and it costs a penny to have a banner ad show up for somebody. And obviously it's automated. You know, once you get it set up, it just runs automatically in the background. And so it's not anything individually special. It's not anything special that you can't do with remarketing per se, even though you may want to add it to what you're doing. So I will say, if you're selling to businesses, really, really small ones, that usually just have 1 or 2 employees, these software might be okay. But the information's not that accurate. You'll find when you use these softwares, of like for 5 visitors on the site, they may only know 1 of the 5 who they actually are, because these reverse IP lookup databases aren't very thorough and robust in terms of the data that they have. So you may say, well, some's better than none. Well, I mean, if you're getting 100 visits to the site a day and the system's only going to give you 15 or 20 of the people in terms of knowing who they are, it's not that much data at the end of the day, at least for what they're charging, which can be $100 a month for this information. So, and obviously if you're trying to call them, most people don't pick up the phone for unsolicited people that they don't know, and you know, it's tough, you know, doing cold calling anymore. But even though, again, certain people that are killers on the phone might be able to make this work, but just know, even if you're selling to individual businesses that have 1 employee, you're not going to get every visitor knowing exactly who went to the website. It's going to be like a 15% match rate at the end of the day. Why? Because I tried this myself. And there is reverse IP lookup software and websites where you could type in an IP address and just go in and type in on Google reverse IP lookup on web tool, or do a reverse IP lookup online. And then you'll find free websites that allow you, if you have the IP address, to do a reverse IP lookup and find the address, and then the person who basically owned or purchased the internet connection that's tied to that IP address, and you don't need these services. You can just do that manually for yourself. So if you have 100 visits to the site a day and you got more time than money, you technically could go in there and look them up one by one, because figuring out and having a list of all the IP addresses that come to your site, you can do that most of the time with like a live chat software, because every person that comes to the site, it'll tell you their IP address. Or you can do it with, there's other free software. But basically what I'm saying is, you could do this yourself for free technically, and if you want to try it before you buy it, and these other companies are going to make you sign a contract, try it once manually and see if the data they're providing is accurate enough for the type of people that come to your website, because the match rate on what it is able to find is going to vary based upon different markets and different audience, different segments of the population. Some, there'll be a high match rate where it will know who it is. Other types of groups of people, it's going to be a low match rate. You can test this out for yourself without committing to anything long term, and then see if it's worth it that way. So ultimately, so that could be a very good way to go about doing this. You really are thinking that maybe it is, but we're targeting really small businesses. Maybe this can be productive for us. Try it out the free way, and then go with the software that'll do the reverse IP address for you automatically and give you a complete list of all the people that have been to the site, and what companies it is in real time, basically. So anyway, with that said, that pretty much sums up these visitor insight softwares that tell you how to identify a website visitor before contacting you or giving you their information directly, how they work, why for 90+% of the people that consider using them, it's not going to help you actually make more sales and therefore get an ROI on what you're paying for them. If you liked the video, I'd appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing, as I have a ton of other content, marketing content, specifically information about how to make money running advertising for your business, how to scale your business with Facebook ads, Google ads, YouTube ads, and so forth. As I have an agency where I manage several dozen ad accounts on an ongoing basis, and I give you the exact information about what works, what doesn't work on this channel. It's the best information you're going to find on YouTube, considering most people that do this, they're YouTubers by trade, fundamentally, and don't have an ad agency, so they don't really know what works. They're talking out their butts. And there's also people that have a couple campaigns they're managing, but it doesn't give you the real insight as to what's working and what's not working, because you need to run 20 different a campaign 20 times in 20 different industries to know kind of if a campaign type works or not. I give you that information on this channel directly, because this is all I do every day, and I work directly with my clients to strategize and see what works. I don't have an agency where I pass you off to another person. So therefore, it's a great channel to subscribe to if you're trying to make millions running ads for your business. I also have a blog at guaranteeppc.com/blog where you can find other information for myself on how to make money running ads. Furthermore, if you have any questions about anything I covered today, leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a comment or question on this channel. And if you have any PPC related questions in general that's not tied to this, or marketing questions for that matter, leave me a comment anyway. I'll try to help you out best I can. As a final note, if you're looking for somebody that'll help you make more money running ads with the ads that you're running for your business, or just setting up an ad campaign, I'd love to hear from you at my agency at guaranteeppc.com. We don't charge our clients fees until we provide them more sales results on their campaigns, and we can estimate how much results we can get for you up front before we would engage at all. I don't work with just any company, but if you got a great product or service that all it needs is a really good marketing campaign tied to it, I'd love to be able to work with you, and I'll be happy to speak with you about the opportunities with it. So, but you have to reach out and let me know about your stuffs before we could actually do that. So I'd love to hear from you, and or potentially sometimes we partner up with companies where we'll take a percentage of your sales growth at your company overall. And we've done this with several companies now at this stage. We're starting to do it more exclusively with the companies we want to work with because our stuff works, and we want to get a part of those businesses long term. So we do that program as well. You can ask about that if you're interested in that, but I'll wrap it up with that. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in my next video where we have another great strategy for you then. See you there.